So go ahead and get out your math notebooks. You are going to act like I am up here in front of you teaching. So as what I'm writing on the board, you're going to actually write in your notes. The complex problem you're going to try, and then the check for understanding you're also going to try and double check your answers on the front. So go ahead and open your notebook and write Module 5, Lesson 6 with the date. Go ahead and pause the video at this time and give the complex problem a shot. Alright, so let's go over what the answer to this complex problem is. So on Friday we learned that volume equals length times width times height. So to find the volume of this shape, instead of counting all the cubes inside of it, I'm just going to find those three things. So my length is how long an object is. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centimeters. If it doesn't have a label, it's always centimeters. The width in the back here is 1, 2, 3 centimeters. So far I have length times width. And then my height is how tall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here I have 15. 5 times 3 times 5 equals 75 centimeters cubed. Go ahead and pause the video and write this objective down in your notebook. Alright, so today we're going to quickly review about rectangles. We know that a rectangle has two parallel sides, so these two sides, and they are the exact same length. So if this is labeled as a 3 inches, the opposite side is also 3 inches. This line behind it, it's still a rectangular prism, is actually 3 inches. Okay, this line is 8 inches. We know that a rectangle, the opposite side is the exact same length. So this side is 8 inches. And then as it goes back, because it's a 3D shape, that's also 8 inches. Come down here, our width is 5. This side is also the same as this side, 5 inches. And then it goes also over here. So just to review, the opposite side of the rectangle is always the exact same. So today, when we get into more complicated shapes, you're going to have to know that this side is 8 inches, just by seeing this one labeled. Because all three of these are actually the exact same length. Okay, so as we're looking at these two shapes here, we could find the volume by multiplying all three of these numbers together. So we have 7 times 3 times 2. This equals a volume of 42 meters cubed. Okay, and I have built these shapes for you to see. We have one here in red and one here in blue. And so today we're going to take finding the volume one step further, and we are going to actually put these shapes together to find the volume of the whole rectangular prism. And so using these colors, I wanted you to see that if this shape has a volume of 42 centimeters, or 42 meters, and this shape has a volume of 42 meters, we put them together, we are going to have to add 42 plus 42, which would give us a total 42 plus 42 would equal 84 meters cubed. So when you put two shapes together, you just add those volumes. And you know how to find the volume of a rectangular prism. So let's look at this shape here. And so these are the type of shapes that you're going to see. And here I see that on top of this base rectangular prism is a rectangular prism. And so in order to find the volume of the whole shape, we're going to split it apart and find the volume for one rectangular prism and the other rectangular prism. And so to help me out with this, I'm going to use some colors here. So if I'm looking at this shape, the bottom one here, I'm going to find my length of that shape. My length here is 6. That one's labeled for me. My width, or how wide this bottom rectangle is 5. And my height of the shape is 4, because it shows right here. 20 plus 6 is 120 inches cubed. Now, that is just it for my bottom rectangular prism. Now, I still have this smaller one up top here. So I'm going to find the volume of this top one. And so if I'm looking for my length here, this one is nicely labeled, and this says 3 inches. Let me write it up here. My width, or how wide it is, there is no number exactly here, but I know that all 3 of these lines are the exact same length because it's a rectangle, and so it would be 5. And then my height for how tall it is 2. So once I have both rectangular prisms, volume figured out, I simply just add them together for the whole volume of the shape, giving me 150 inches cubed. Make sure that you have this written on your piece of paper. Pause the video at any time if you need to. Alright, so right now I want you to stop the video here, and I want you to try to figure out this next one, the check for understanding. Okay, if you're here reviewing your answer for the check for understanding, I'm going to label it with, or I'm going to draw some colors here so I can really see what shape I'm dealing with first. Okay, if I see this bottom one, I'm looking for the length of that shape. The length, or how long it is 6. The width, or how wide it is 2. And the height is 2, giving me 24 meters cubed. Now, this top one doesn't have nice numbers on every side where we need them. And so we need to use what we know about rectangles to find the volume of this top rectangular prism. And so I see here that this line shares it with this line. So right here it's 4 meters, and this whole line is opposite from the 6 meters. And so this whole red line has to be 6. But this is already labeled with 4. And so I'm trying to figure out what is left here so I can label this line. So I take the total of 6 minus the 4 that I see here, and this line is actually 2 meters. There. Because 4 plus 2 is 6, and now these 2 lines are equal. Now, if I'm looking for the width of this rectangle, I see down here it's 2 meters, and I know that all 3 of these lines are actually the same length. So this is 2 meters. And then the height here, which is tricky, it gives us a total amount for this whole line is 4. And so if I look opposite of that, there is no opposite line that's the same length. However, this side over here shows me 2. So if I go opposite of the 2 meters, I'm going to make these checkers so you can see it. This would be 2 meters, and this line would be 2 meters. So if this whole side is 4 meters, that leaves me with a 2 meters up here. So I have 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8 meters cubed. Now I add up 8 times 24, or 8 plus 24, I have 32 meters cubed. If you have questions at this time, I would recommend you either re-watching the video or pausing the video and asking your table mates around you to see if they understand what the video is asking.